I did something so disgusting and so uncool that my wife tried to divorce me. But it was so efficient, it was so clever, it was so big brain, she realized I don't own any property and it would be a lot of paperwork for nothing, and we're still together happily. Here's what I did, and here's how you can copy that, unless, well, you have property, in which case, good luck on your relationship. Remember in the last video where I was talking about we've got dragon tournaments on the way, and we're trying to make hay on that, we're trying to do solo farms, and honestly, solo farms a little bit of a noob trap, including for me. Here's where we're at on our dragon tournament now. We're looking fly. We are smooth. We're about 110 off from hitting the very last milestone. That's also going to be a clan quest. By the way, if you're not familiar with clan quests somehow, and it could happen easily, I guess, make sure you're selecting those every week. I'm going to get a payout here just from playing the game like I normally would. Collect reward for the last milestone of an event. This is going to reset in 12 hours, so by the time you see this video, there'll probably be a full new day of them. Make sure you go in and pick these. As a general rule, though, you don't want to be super toxic and pick like all those super easy expert ones, or you're going to get paid a bunch, or elite ones. So, be kind, rewind, honor your public library system and your clanmates.
Nothing wrong with being a gentleman.
What have I been doing that's been absolutely so disgusting, absolutely so busted? And by the way, of course, this is a casual sample video. It is playing Dragon 20 tournament with 2 champions. Not one because our solo farmer was a disaster. 2 champions, and get this, they're not even both DPS. These are not both the damage champions, because I have tried to make this work with stock. Still not 100%, stock is bad affinity here. I have tried to run this with Urigrim. Boom, with Urigrim. Lots of poison, spares with the Kemptum. The Kemptum's kind of been the linchpin here. I have in fact even tried to run this with stock, Urigrim, and a Kemptum. I have had a fail, which is crazy, and it feels extremely unlucky, if I'm being honest. That seems very, very unlucky. I mean, my stock is like 70,000 HP, right? This guy is absolute beefcake. Yeah, I mean, his defense is pretty okay. It's not like phenomenal, but I mean, he's in multiple immortal sense. This guy's a beefcake. We're still failing on the run. So how do we get to 100% run? Well, you probably saw it. New team 1, Noelle. Noelle, a champion that I listed on one of my previous videos as having changed the entire account. This is fact. This is not cap. There's no clickbait on the video. I don't know if we got any views, but there's not a clickbait on that video. This is legitimate. She's actually revolutionized all my dungeon level 20s with 100% certainty. As a legendary and as sort of a fusion or path, whatever you want to call what that was, she has changed the entire account, and I'll show you what the run looks like. It's ugly, it's brutal, but I'll try to make it interesting for you if I can. But before we do that, speaking of legendaries and speaking of getting a whole account change, if you're looking to start an alt account to join free-to-play challenge like the Hell Hades, or just an alt account where you got free energy, hit the link in the description. You're going to get Corrado Fox Hunter, and if we're super lucky and we get 20 million views, maybe we get to select Maneater too. But no, really, we'll get Corrado Fox Hunter's triple hitter weekend and 3 great epics, including Vergis and Fane. Also Romero's in there too. Yeah, legendary to start the account, best possible way to start, and you still get use of a code. So for example, Monkey King, or what I did on the free to play, I use Free Frog. I got my boy Taragi. Not sure if Taragi is still available or not, but I hope he is. Here's what this looks like. Yeah, it's ugly. We'll go non-super raid in case we get too bored. She freezes them. That is the whole run. It is insanely slow. This is like a 3-4 minute run, and if I was Jerry Seinfeld, I could hold the mic and walk you through it. It's poison. Can you believe it? As it is, you'll get to see how it plays out. I kept him, again, not fully booked, so he's really not able to do this solo. I've looked at some videos. Cold Brew Gaming had a great video as well with a Kemptum. There was a couple other channels that had it. I can't quite make that gear check. I'm really close, but not with the booking, and the booking really, really matters for a Kemptum. So how does this function for Noelle across the waves? Well, I have her spamming Heartkeeper, and because she has a passive, and I'll pull it up here, that reduces the enemy's speed by 10% when they're frozen, and these are just farming. So we're farming 3 champs through. Chromatic Queen decreases speed under 10%, just fantastic. And then this is a 3-turn cooldown, and this is a 100%, it's booked 100% now, freeze chance. She's got about 280 accuracy. This lady is single-handedly preventing any turns from happening from the NPCs. The waves are not getting any love right now, and so we are very slowly, progressively knocking them down with poisons when their turns should be coming. And the Kemptum helps with that. This is probably the least cool way to do it, and it's not fast. We can see that right here, right? It's also 100% success rate. And from a limited energy standpoint, for me, 100% success rate. I mean, and I've even bought energy, right? I have gems. I have the gem pass. But if this was on the free-to-play account, for example, and we would not have all these champs, if we did, this would be fantastic. I would love to have a 4-minute run if I had just 2 or 3.5 minutes or whatever. If I had 2 champions and I could farm food. That's the sort of difference between the accounts, and honestly, it's kind of fun to do it the both ways. Free-to-play is also chasing this Dragon tournament right now, but it's doing it by setting up an auto-clicker, so overnight I have maximum energy efficiency, and we are just putting every single ounce of energy, every free refill, every arena. I probably need to hit up Live Arena too on there, don't I? Get that 50 as well. 2 minutes through the first wave. It's going to be about that here. Once we get to the boss, things speed up a little bit though, because I have Noelle disabling her revive. That way we're not pointlessly using it, and it's so much faster when it's just Noelle. And I kept him also, she has Brimstone. So what am I saying here? Is this a Noelle showcase? Yeah, low-key it is, but I don't think she's probably the best champ for this. I know that Freeze is typically considered the second worst crowd control disable. You have Sleep, garbage if you have any AoE at all, and then you have Freeze. Freeze typically doesn't get a lot of love because you're doing, I think, 25% less damage to the champs. Only receive 75%, yeah, so it's a 25% reduction. That slows this process down a lot, and we have no damage besides the Kempton points. We have none. Noelle's not built for damage. She's a clan boss tuned for me, so this is a champ I have tuned for clan boss specifically for unkillable. We didn't have to change anything. Now when we get to Dragon, this run is going to start to pick up because we're going to be getting poisons on a Kempton, and then as soon as the Dragon takes a breath and roasts everybody, we're going to be dropping off the 2 guys on the left. They're going to get roasted and they're going to go away forever, and we're just going to chunk through the Dragon. This has absolutely been, oh come on, just die. This has absolutely been an improvement for me on the grind, but it's been slow. This is not like stand here and watch a run. My advice would be, if anybody else is struggling as far as farming food and putting in 2 DPS, or I tried 3, is not sustainable like it wasn't for me. And if I'm putting in 3 farmer champs, it's got to be 100%. Like, it has to be 100%. If it's not 100%, do something kind of goofy like I did if you have a crowd control champion. In fact, before I had stock locked into my clan boss, I was looking at running that guy in a stun set because 2 double AoEs. That's fantastic. Like, as far as stun odds, that's fantastic. But I can't mess with clan boss currently yet. You guys know how that is. Even without Brimstone here, we're chunking through, but it's 173,000. And you'll see on the post-battle, basically all of Kempton. Straight up, basically all of Kempton. Go ahead and use somebody that can do lots of crowd control. Or maybe your account's yoked out and you can do it with a solo farmer, in which case, awesome. I can't yet. When I can, I will. This is not prescriptive. This is not like, hey, only do duo farming. No, that's crazy. If you can do solo, do solo. I can't do solo. Attack percent gloves, that's not too great. Noelle did about 9 to 70k. I imagine almost all of that is Brimstone. We Brimstone, I think, 3 times on the Dragon. That alone is like, I don't know, 400 and 510k. Yeah, and then a Kempton does 2 million. This was an absolute game changer for me for chasing the tournament, though. 100%, and although very slow, we're also getting some champ training points. And these are champions that I don't need prioritized level up. This is not like I'm leveling up my 1s and 2s. These are faction wars. I don't know that that's particularly optimal or suboptimal. But for me on the account, I don't really want to be burning energy on these champs that I'm only using once every 4 days in faction wars. So I really, really am liking leveling up here in Dragon. In fact, you know, Ayla was just recently a 5-star for me, and then the Aili, the dude, which is like one of the worst Void legendaries, I think. I'm not going to say period. He's definitely one of the worst ones in general, and I don't want to spend energy leveling him, so we're going to do it this way. We're at 1,820 champ training points. I don't think we're going to be pushing for first or second. I would love to be getting this Ancient Shard, though. I think that would be fantastic, and then Primal would be... Yeah, I mean, I'm 10 off. I think that would be nice. And Asma Fragments, I don't think we're going to be getting Asma here. Moving 2,700 miles slowed my roll, to be honest. Moving really, really slowed us down. What's another way that you guys could utilize this as far as farming? Well, if we go to our dungeons as well, there are ways to do this that I don't have on an account basis as well for Ice Golem. I've seen people run stages through with Chronum. I'm not even sure if we have a working Ice Golem team right now that I say that out loud. Can we do this? I don't think so. Let's try it, though. Let's throw it in at the end. Let's just see if it's a total disaster. He probably actually needs to be 60. And actually, if he... I'm sorry, Chronum. I'm sorry. Everybody I see does it at level 60. You know, making him try to do it at 50 is probably unkind. But why does it work for Chronum? Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't have the champion. Because when the Jamarsa is on the team, actually, he's going to come back. If he attacks 3 or 5 times, let's see. Let's see what it is. And then he's going to get some heals here off the Berserker Delight. Let's see. So she's actually 60 from. She goes down here. But that's not the end of the world. I think at 60 he probably does this. It is revives. 4-turn cooldown. Yep. And he's also going to turn meter feel every time he puts a burn on. This is why the champ is just so godly as far as... Oh, do we get to go again? So we go again here. I don't think I have fully booking on all the skills. He dies. Okay. Oh. Come on, bro. Get your A2 off. Come on. Do it for me. Do it for the culture. Are you just not casting A2? Maybe. Also, he's going to extend HP burns every single time. We'll just let it play auto. This is close enough, though, that at 60, I think we make it. He doesn't make it here, though, right? Full disclosure. But this is a combo that you can be using on, like, Ice Golem 20. I don't think this pairs so well at the end. Somebody like Artak does way better. Chronom doesn't bring any attack down. That starts to become a problem as you get up further. But at this point, I think that's actually very doable at 60. For a gear check, for you guys to see what's going on, context, I actually don't even have 200 speed, and I don't even have 2100 defense. So, yeah, I definitely think this is not a min-max play. Great accuracy for me. We don't care about crit damage, crit rate, because we want everything to be coming from the burns. And our Berserker's Delight is actually not fully booked out, but it's pretty close. This is a great champ. 100% recommend, and really do like it for the solo kind of capabilities on it. As far as taking food through the other dungeons, this account can't do it. I've seen people do it. I know Tyrant can take food through all the dungeons. We can't make that happen yet. We cannot actually do that. These are champs that are going to be great for solo, and you may have better ones. Also, Tomb Lord is great. Battle Khazar, great for this as well. Tyrant, eventually when we get his gear sorted, because 4,000 defense is apparently not enough to go through Dragon, which is crazy to me. It's not. Sue me. What can you do? Noelle, absolute game changer for the account here. Haven't changed her speed. She's at a very reasonable speed. She's not slow. This is probably the 3rd or 4th fastest champ on the account. We're at the 247 speed. This is not breaking anyone's speed budget. The aura does absolutely nothing, so you really don't want her in the lead unless you have no other option. But we have no crit rate. Huge amount of crit damage based on the sets. Huge amount of crit damage for a champion that has no crit rate. And we have an attack of like 1700. There's no attack going on here. But the freeze is amazing. So if you have a champion that's going to have AoE slow, stun, I said slow, stun. I don't think sleep probably gets you very far. This is gold. And the Brimstone is just a cherry on the top, right? She did almost 1 million damage. She's not doing that through hitting for 1600 or 1500. 100% recommend Noelle as a champion here. 100%. I don't have anybody else that's going to put on the solo carry here, but I'll see if you guys go to the Hell Hades Optimizer and you go to Team View and search for a team, you can actually tell it to require a certain champ. For example, I've seen builds, they're going to use an Akemptum and they're going to use a Venomage. They're both running, well, I think Akemptum's running like 250, 260. One day we'll get there. We will get there, and my Akemptum solo build will come out, and we'll know the absolute bare minimum requirements. Fingers crossed we get there. Thanks for watching the Casual Samurai video. Stay tuned, subscribe, and like. Bye-bye.